just want to show y'all. So on my channel, sometimes when I talk about making albums, this is what I'm talking about. If you watching this, you see on the screen, these are my albums I make. So I also do dance fitness too. So I really make this music for dance fitness instructors. So this is a market that's untapped, especially with amongst different type of black type of music. And Afro beats, they really lacking behind. So I decided to make a couple albums with it. So this would be like for Pilates, yoga class, etc. You can see on my screen, I got Trap Lovers, which is a yoga, trap R&B, workout hype, all different kind of albums. So you see, it's if you're making music already for syncing, you have the albums and they're not getting placed, you already have the material. That's one thing that you can live by. All right, let's mute that. Let's get back. All right, let's get this started. I really want to thank y'all for being here on the first live, man. We made it to 1,000 subs. This is for y'all to get feedback on your music, and everybody who submitted, really appreciate it, man. Without y'all, I wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So let's get this started. I'm going in order of who sent me stuff. So we're gonna start off with YouTube name Justin Harrell Jones. One thing before I start, I listened to a little bit of y'all music, and I really like the diversity of the music, man. And that's really good because there's so much music that could be used out there that you don't realize. You might be thinking, oh, my music is not good enough, or it won't make it anywhere. Trust me, I've heard a lot of different stuff, and it's good that I can hear some of y'all stuff, and it's so diverse, and that's what I like. So let's jump on. Let me bring this down in my screen. And here we go. Let's get to the first one. This is called Menacing Melodies by Justin Harrell Jones. All right, that's not the track. Okay, so that first track, Menacing Melodies, I like that because when you first heard the name of the title, what did you expect to hear? Probably something menacing, right? And menacing is sometimes in sync licensing, a word has so many different meanings to someone else, right? Like you might not thought this was a menacing track, right? You might thinking like Jason or Freddie, right? But this is still menacing. So that's one hard thing when you're naming your tracks. Don't get discouraged. Everybody has different opinions of what the same word means. But what I like about this track is even though it sounded a little bit offbeat, that's fine for what I think Justin is trying to go for. Let's say this track, a drama type show, right? Like, or a Law and Order type show. The offbeat kind of pushes you back and then it pulls you forward, right? It's unsettling, right? So I think it works fine for that sound, for what he probably was going for. I'm just guessing. If you're here, Justin, let me know what you had in mind when you made this track. But the one thing I probably will fix, it seemed to be the instruments seem to be drowning a little bit of reverb in there, which reverb can be fine. It can create an atmosphere, but I think because you only has sparse amount of elements, the reverb really stood out, and so it wasn't as menacing as it could be if you let the track breathe more with those pauses and not to let the reverb clog it. Another thing, I can't read the length of the track, my glasses are, but at the end of the track you just end. Now I would usually end with a sting ending, something that puts a statement at the end, like doom, 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 right? End like that. Instead, you just end, right? And then it just cuts off. Now, it's different on SoundCloud to tell if there was actually some tail on there because it just plays into the new track automatically. But I would have that last thing hit go doom, 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 doom. and then that reverb just fades out of it, right, to let the scene marinate, right? So that's one thing, but I do like that track, y'all. Thanks for coming in. If you're new watching, thanks, Kevin, telling people get them likes up, man. That's real good. So that's the first one. Hope you enjoyed that one. Let's see who is next. All right, next we got B-Rad Tunes and Stuff. Here we go with Crunch Hop. If I'm looking down, I'm just taking notes, so I am listening to it. All right, all right. You just heard the track. That was B-Rad Tunes and Stuff, Crunch Hop. So let me tell you, start off what I like about the track. The formula for the switch ups and the variation in the track is lovely. That's a good start for sync licensing, right? You don't want to usually use the same loops over and over and over again unless a supervisor tells you that's what they want, but generally they're not going to tell you. So this is a good variation, right? There were different change ups, different elements happening, a couple of 4 to 8 bars. So that's something that you really want to pay attention to when you're making your tracks. You got to think about, you're trying to get the scene and you're trying to move. Let me bring myself up on excuse me. You're trying to move the scene along. Right. So that's what that track is doing. And that's what I really like about the track. And before I go on, I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning. Don't take any of the criticism personally. I'm just saying my thoughts on how I feel about the track and trying to really help you be better, because I think this is valuable, hearing feedback on your tracks from someone that's been in libraries, who's been rejected, who understands what needs to change, yada, yada, yada. So the thing that I would change about this song, Crunch Hop, let's talk about the name. I understand what you're going for after I played it, but it doesn't invoke any emotions, right? Like, would this be suited for sports? Would it be suited for, let's say, I could see something like that playing reality TV, like a Love and Hip Hop, something like that. But Crunch Hop doesn't, it sounds like a starting beginner type beat. Like, that's what I named my beats when I first started, and I wasn't even doing sync licensing. I would have named the beat Crunch Hop because I understand what you're doing, the crunchiness of the guitars, and it sounds like hip hop. It makes sense. But to a supervisor, you will want something else. I can't think of nothing off the top of my head, but that's just one suggestion. Another suggestion is, I don't know if you play guitar or if that's a VST guitar. guitars are real hard to do and get past people if you don't play guitar. Right? I learned that because I tried to put some guitars in my tracks, like when I submit to sports, because they often ask for guitars. But they can tell the difference right away if it's me playing a VST on the keys or it's me actually strumming that. So usually I try to stay away from long riff guitars unless it's like a royalty free type of guitar where it's just a loop where you know it sounds good. I usually try to stay away because it will sound kind of cheesy like you played a VST. And nothing is wrong if they ask for that kind of guitar, but I'm just telling you, they probably would say, that sounds kind of cheesy if they give you that feedback, and they might not go for the track. Let's talk about, let me switch back over, the ending. Let me play again. Now, see that ending, that you had a nice sting at the ending and you added on some extra that wasn't necessary. Let's see where you should have stopped. Right there. Doom, 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 doom. Right? It just ends the scene, but then the song just keeps going. Now, that ending, what I would do is that little extra after the big don't thump, that doom, 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 I would actually take that and put it at the beginning as a little 4-bar or 1-bar loop. And at the end, like I said, end with that strong statement. Right there. That ends a scene real well. So overall, nice track. I'm loving it. So thank you, B Rad, for submitting. Doing good, man. Keep up the work. All right. Let's see who's next. All right. We got YouTube name Patrick Noonan 4434. So let's play this, and this is a stream. Here we go. Cadillac Drift, a stream cloud thing. Oh, no problem, B-Rad. No problem, man. No problem. Glad you enjoyed that. Let's move on. Let's get this Cadillac Drift. Oops. Okay, that sounds like some Perry Mason type stuff, man. All right, so that was Cadillac Drift by Patrick New 94434. So what I liked about um, that Cadillac Drift track, now it made me, at least in my mind, it jumped to like old Perry Mason type stuff. So like a Law and Order, like, but it wouldn't be a serious Law and Order. It'd be like a parody Law and Order. You get what I'm saying? Like a SNL skit. Someone walks out and they start playing this track, right? Like Kevin said, this could be in a video game. It definitely could be in a video game. It just has that vibe, and I really like it because it's something so different than what you used to probably listen to all the time in general. So I really like the track. I think the track sets the mood for it, and I don't know what they were going for. Again, let me start with the title, Cadillac Drift. So is it meant for me to be riding in a Cadillac, going to somewhere? Is that what I'm supposed to be getting from it? I don't know. It just depends, because that was kind of, when I think of Cadillac, I think of smooth ride, right? But the track was kind of frantic and mysterious at the same time. So might want to think about changing the title, but that's just an opinion. You don't have to if you don't want to. So those are the things I like. The things I didn't like about the track was, the things I didn't like about the track, that the sounds, they sounded a little bit too dated. Right now, there might be a case where someone may want to use this now. Like I said, if there's a parody, Perry Mason Law and Order type scene, and they want this old sound, they might use it. But all the instrumentation, it just sounds synthesized, right? Now, nothing's wrong with synthesized, but it doesn't sound smooth. It sounds jarring. Now, I bet if you did the underscore, which an underscore is one of the tracks that you want to submit for sync licensing. So usually when you submit tracks to a music library, they ask for different tracks. You'll send the full track with all the instruments and what you got called the underscore, which means all the main instruments would be out. So it would be just left with the drums, the bass, hi-hats, but not the main riff, right? So I think this track will benefit definitely from having an underscore where you don't hear all the conflicting things in there. Also, too, the drum pattern was a little bit repetitive. It's cool to play it for 8, maybe 16 bars, but I would have liked to hear a couple of dropouts, like stop the kick, stop the snares, just a hat to go tss, tss, don't broom, brown, brown, to give some track some breathing room, because you have to think about, you're crafting a scene. So the scene is not necessarily going to be frantic, right? So if you have those little dropouts, you give editors a chance to work with something. So let's say they are driving in their Cadillac, but then they go somewhere and they're thinking. Well, you don't have any points where they can think, where if you just took out some drums and just had like the hi-hats and bass to go, tss, tss, brown, brown, tss, I'm thinking, tss, brown, 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 tss, tss, brown, brown. And then when they get the answer, the drums hit back in hard, right? You see, you have to take it on a journey, right? So it's different from producing music for artists. And you have to think about the scene, what is going to be the highs and lows. And if the editors do need to use a loop of the track, they would just loop what they need to use anyway. One thing I forgot that I do like is your ending at the end. Let's listen to it again. I like that. Now that's a good Sting ending. It just it just ends the scene. Now you can add a hit on there. The but it sounds fine like that. But that's just one thing you want to think about, because sometimes these libraries, they want a statement hit and it's like a hard hit, right? It's like boom, because it just ends the scene and it grabs your attention. But overall, nice job. Nice job. All right, Track Shark. You said, is it too late to submit? No, you actually lucked out because not all 10 people actually came in and submitted. So what I'm going to do is, since you come here and you asking, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if you get your music to that email before it's over, then I definitely will review your music. All right. Now we're moving on to the next one. Oh, Our Grind. Name of the track is Time's Up. All right, let's switch over now. This is one important thing I want you to remember. So this person said they wanted their beat review, but they didn't send me any information. That's one thing you have to be very careful of when you're with music production libraries. You want to listen to their instructions and read what it says. Right? Let me put it on screen for you to try to see. So you might not be able to see it, but it has live beat review. It got the information. And right here, this line, this last line, send music to beatreviews@beatbuilderstudio.com. Right? It says it. So that's one thing you have to remember with your briefs, or if they ask you for a demo or something like that, you have to read it, because that might be your one and only chance. Now, I went and I tried to search this person's YouTube name. That's why I asked for a YouTube name to see their channel. I could not find their music. I went to the website. I could not find this track called Time's Up. So if I'm a music production library and I give you that courtesy to do that, and then I can't find it, then I'll probably flag your email later and be like, well, they didn't give me anything and I went searching. So that's one good lesson to learn. So since they didn't have that, let's move on to the next one. And this is from Rock the Great, In the Zone. Let's see. Rock the Great. Are you in the chat? If you're in the chat, let me know. This is Rock the Great. All right, let's play this track. Okay. Okay. Okay, add some variety. Yeah, it's a nice track. This is nice. Okay, a little breakdown. See, a breakdown. Remember, like the last track I played you, saying to give it some breathing room? This is a good example of that. Letting the track breathe. What's going on, Rock? We just viewing your track, man. Glad you're here. That was a track. Now that is a track for sync licensing. I don't know, Rock. You must have been doing this for like 50 years already, man, because you already got the stuff. You already got the goods for it, because this is a track, man. Let me get my face back up on here. I really do like the track. It has the elements that come from a sync licensing structure. Like most of what everybody would say who has a sync licensing channel and tell you advice, This is like the structure right here that it's changing every 4 to 8 bars. Little things are changing. There's a breakdown in there so the track can breathe. And when you think about changing something, it doesn't have to be big, right? It can be a small little change. Like on a couple of these in the track, he has a hook and then he goes into the B section of the hook and he just adds a clap on there and that's it, right? So it's those little simple things that make the track different, and taking out things is actually adding things, right? I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you're taking out things to let space breathe, right? When you let space breathe, the scene can move, it can do what it do, and then when it comes in with something dramatic, the editors can drop it, boom, drop it right in. This had a great sting ending. I'm a sucker for a sting because they just hit and end the scene. Let's listen to that sting ending again. There we go. That's a good sting ending. Couple things I would do different. Now this is the on production wise, different libraries ask for different things, so it's really up to you of how your style is. When you listen to the ending, you see how things just ring out, the bell rings out, the crash hit rings out. Sometimes some shows want that hard, just doom, ding, 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 doom. That's it. Sometimes they just want that. Sometimes it is for a good ring out because then it lets the scene linger a little bit. But like I said, it's always pick and choose. Like you don't even know. Like I know for at least one library that I'm in, when they want a tight sting out, they tell you they want a tight sting out. One thing you don't want to do on your sting outs is fade out, right? If they need to fade, the editors will make a fade. There was another thing that I would have added to this track in the hook. Let me listen to it again. So in that second part of that hook, he adds the claps, and then I heard some little dong, dong, some accent hints. I would have just, me personally, I would have added maybe a higher lead on top of that, right? Just to take that drama up just a little bit. But with those hits on the downbeats, that adds some drama too, but you can't hear those hits as much. That's why I would have added a lead on top to just add that extra top crunchy drama. So I would have took that same lead an octave up on that B section of the hook just to be like, oh, I feel the intensity, right? Because I don't really hear those downbeat hits a lot. But overall, man, this is a great track. This is a great track. Thanks again for submitting, y'all. Thanks again for submitting. Thanks for being here. All right, let's move on to the next one. Who we got next? So we got YouTube channel DMG, and it's just beat 16. So let me pull this up. Here we go. Beat 16. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is how I used to name my beats when I first started making beats 20 years ago. Nothing's wrong with naming your beats like that when you're just starting into your personal stuff. But let's say you sent that to me. I'm a music supervisor. I'm a music production library. I don't know what beat 16 means, right? You have to tell me, like, now I can look at your thumbnail and maybe guess what this is, but if I don't have time to guess, I probably would just skip a track that says beat 16, just to be honest. So that's just one thing right off the bat, just making sure when you're naming your tracks, you have a picture in mind of what you want someone else to think about. Let's go ahead and play the track. Okay, I like it. Got some groove on it. Okay, that was beat 16. One thing I noticed after I forgot to say, because I had pre-played these, listen to what music libraries tell you to send, right? If you want to send them something that doesn't have ads or anything else that will stop them from pressing play right away. So like on the tracks that I got sent for YouTube, it's okay for me, right? I can play it. I'm just letting you know in advance that you might not want to send a demo track through a YouTube link, because if they don't have YouTube Premium, they're going to get ads. And they might be annoyed at that, right? It's just that little thing that says, I'm not a professional. Not saying you don't take your music seriously. You probably do. But that's probably what they're thinking. Like, wait a minute, why would they send me this, right? When it's, especially if you're using Gmail, if you send a WAV or MP3, I can listen to the track right inside the email. I don't have to go anywhere else. So it just depends on what they tell you. So that's just one good tip to know for the future. But I really like that track. Really nice, smooth vibe. I'm trying to picture where I would hear that type of track. I don't know if you listen to the artist Bonobo. He's another like chill electronic artist. Fortet, someone like that. But I would say for the beat, it kind of it says the same things. And when I mean says, it just keeps sounding like it's just the same throughout. Like I like the ending, and I wish it was more quiet parts through the middle of the track with that ending. See, with that little pad sound, give me a couple bars of that pad sound on its own to let the track breathe. And then you can put that little percussion knock in there to add some little variation, and then come in with that sound like you had a what was it, a riser in there, not a riser, but a reverse crash into transition, which is good. The reverse crash got kind of little the same each time you did it. It would have been nice, like if you would have had some different percussion feels in there, right? Like you're transitioning into that reverse crash, and then you drop all the instruments, and then you just come in with like the percussion knock, and then start back with the beat. One thing to note too, again, when you're submitting for music libraries, and once you get in, they're going to want alternate tracks. And I try to think of my tracks as, can each track stand by itself? So if I were just to take this beat 16 and use the drums and bass, well, it's the same throughout the whole song. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but if I want to use drums and bass in my scene, just use that. Well, it's just the same thing playing over and over again. Now, it depends on what kind of track it is. Like if it's a a drama type scene and it's like a heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. Well, you want to keep that same kind of thing going on. But for something like this, I would change the drums and bass a little bit. That's why I say you need to drop in and, drop in and out of the tracks. But I think it's good. Kevin said it sound like a skincare or shampoo commercial. It definitely could. It definitely, I can see that too. Now that he says that, just take a little small part of it. Like you're like, it did sound refreshing. Now that he said that, it sounded refreshing and it sounded light, but it just needs a little bit of variation, man. So that was good. Thank you for that. All right, let's see. All right, so now we're moving on to Pulse Music. Got my guy always supporting the channel, man. Thanks for coming through. We got his track up, Black Sonic. Let's listen to this track. Nice track, smooth. I can see this like a car commercial. You know, you like drive the range. 4 doors automatic. Leave your kids at home because you're gonna want to stay in your car forever. Okay, there we go. Letting the track breathe. You see, for the other people, it's very important to let the track breathe. So remember that last track I played about some breathing? This is a perfect example of letting the track breathe. Okay, track is nice. Track is still smooth. Goes hard. All right, so that was Pulse Music with the song Black Sonic. Again, let's talk about the YouTube links. This is fine for someone like me to listen to, but just want to be mindful that when you're submitting to libraries, read what they ask you to submit, because they may ask you for a YouTube link. They may ask you just some kind of other streaming platform. But if you're sending a YouTube link, look at the name of this title, Making a Beat Using Contact 7. Now, if I'm a music supervisor, I might not even know what Contact 7 is, Native Instruments, or if I know what it is, I might think, wait a minute, are they trying to sell me instruments? I'm a music supervisor. I don't do this. So it's just confusing. So it's not saying it's wrong. I get it. This is for a YouTube video, but I'm just trying to put you in the mind of a production library who says, why are they telling me about Native Instruments? right? And then if you look at the end of the video, it suggests 2 more videos. Well, I didn't come to see videos. I came to hear your tracks, right? So that's why I advise, if you want to get your own website, you can put it on and you can have your own streaming stuff on your own website. That's what I do. That's just a good, simple way. When I first started, this was way back when like SoundCloud was free, that you can get, like, you didn't have, there was no subscription fee to pay for a different account. So it was different back then. And I used that actually as my demo links to get accepted in some libraries. But eventually I moved off of SoundCloud and moved to my own website. That way there's no other distracting things, right? So, but let's get to the track. I really like the track. The track's mixed well. It got a smooth vibe. It's definitely polished. It's ready to go. One thing or a couple of things I would note is it definitely could be more suited for sync. If the track is almost 3 minutes long, which is nothing bad, but usually tracks you want to be between 1:30 to maybe 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It just depends. Some people send you different briefs and they might say what they want it to be. So this track is definitely produced like a rapper would be on this track, which is fine. But then there's lingering bars where it's just the same thing. Nothing really changes in those bars. I mean, there are good transitions. It sounds like some reversed kicks are in there that come into drop on the start of the beat. It's some really great transitions. It's just, it sounds a little bit too repetitive. Another thing, I would take my tag out of it, the post music. I would take that out if I was sending it to somebody. They know who you are because you sent them the emails and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily to send them tag beats. That's one thing, right? Like, let's say you're making music for artists and your beats are tagged. If you have a demo, all you have to do is go in your DAW and make a version without the tags, right? Only the supervisors are hearing this. So you don't have to worry about someone stealing your music. Only they're hearing it, so you don't need it. At the ending, it doesn't have a sting ending. And let's play. See, I like that. It sounds nice, but it keeps playing that. He don't, boom, 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 boom. Right? It was a nice ending, and then it just kept playing. Right? So and that's the difference between making songs for artists, because you would want some of that after, right? The after beat to be like, oh man, I'm still marinating on the beat. But for sync, you want that thing to hit. I mean, it was had the nice drum loop, drum feel, and then that reverse sound into it. It's lovely. But then it kept going. So I would change those few things. That was good. All right, let's see. Who's next on this list? All right, we got another person, but they didn't send the music. See, that's another thing I want to teach you. That's why I made the form. I made the form for people to fill out, to test, just to test, to see if you can follow through. Now, it was my bad that I didn't realize I didn't tell you what to send me, right? I didn't specify WAV, MP3, streaming link, whatever. I just said send music to this email address, which is my bad. But usually libraries would tell you how they want different things, right? So this person, they didn't send anything. Again, it's unfortunate, but if they were going to a library and they didn't send nothing to the music supervisors, then they might be disqualified forever of getting a placement. All right, let's track. Okay, since we had 2 people didn't come up, we had 2 people send the beats. The first person that sent the beat, let me check my emails. So we got Rob Miller. Rob Miller. Okay, I got your tracks. I got to find them. Rob Miller's serious. He got disco. He using disco. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. I need to show this, y'all. I need to show this. Rob Miller serious. Not to say y'all ain't serious either. But this is what I use for my tracks. A lot of supervisors and stuff use services like this. And if you look at it, look how simple it is for me to use. I can just press play from this thing. I can press play on both of the person's tracks. I can download the tracks how I want to or save to disco. Now, I use this service. I'm not affiliated by them. I just use this service. It has all my music catalog. So if someone, like let's say someone reach out for a link and say they need something, this is what exactly I would send them, because I have different music in my catalog. So let's say they want sports for hip hop. Well, I can get all my sports for hip hop tracks and I can send them all of this stuff. Let's see, Kevin, you asking where disco at? Let me see if I can find it. I should have it. Let me see if I have it. I should have it saved in my let's see, disco. Oops. Disco dot. Okay, here we go. Here is the site. Here you go, Kevin. Disco is disco.ac. disco.ac. And this is a great, right? It does cost. It's not free. And you look at the pricing, right? So you have the lowest feature. You got $10 a month, one user, 500 tracks. And I went ahead and I just paid for a year. I was just like, forget it. I'm just going to pay for a whole year and get it over with. And I really like disco. Kevin said he got it too. It's a great service. So anyone else on here, if you got the funds, I would suggest getting this account. Now there's other ones that do it too, that they may do it cheaper. But for some reason, I just like disco. It's simple, easy to use. A couple companies I work with, they use it because this format is good. But anyway, that's a little nugget for y'all coming to the live stream. Let's play. I'm just gonna play one track from this person. One track. I'm gonna do Combat. Woo! There we go. Hear the breakdown, letting the track breathe. Okay, man. The Track Shark is not playing. They said they've been in the game for a minute. You must be in the game for at least 200 years, man. You're not playing on that track, man. So thanks for sending it over. I'm glad you would get to it. I'm glad you were able to get on the stream. That track was good, man. That was a nice track. Nice title, Combat. When I hear the song, it makes sense. Like I can picture someone going to combat. in different sports, head to head, clashing. It has the intensity. It's mixed well. It's short. If you notice, the track is only a minute and what, 42 seconds. So that's not bad, right? Like, you don't have to make full length songs, right? They're not looking for full length songs. If an editor needs to loop a part, they loop a part. It's just that simple. Most of this stuff is timed to a grid now, so it's real simple to just loop if they want to loop, and that's why you send the alternate tracks. So if they want to just, let's say, use the percussions from this song, the drum, bass, and the percussions, they can drop in and out of things they want to use for it. I really love that sting ending. It just makes a statement at the end. Just makes a statement at the end. Again, a few things I would change. Just if you haven't been in a sync game for a while or just started, some libraries like them long, drawn out sting endings. Some want them to just hit right at the end. So it's not right or wrong. It's just whatever the person wants. So if you have a chance to talk to people once you get in and ask them, do you like, hard outs, long reverbs? That makes a statement right there, being long. So it's not right or wrong. That's just something you have to keep aware of. If, let's say, you're making a lot of tracks and you're not getting someplace and you're like, okay, maybe I need to change my stings to hit, to have a hard out. Because sometimes when they edit, if they use this for a football game, let's say, they are on commercial time breaks. So sometimes when it says they have to use 30 seconds of music, it's actually like 29.99, right? It's not actually 30 seconds because you have to get the commercials and all that, yada, 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 editor talk. But it's not much I wouldn't change about that track. It's a nice track. It builds up. It has a nice statement. So that's a very good track. And we got the last one. Let's see if you got your stuff, Javante. Let me see if I got your stuff in the email. No, I haven't got anything yet from that email. Well, we still got a couple of minutes. I want to keep y'all just for an hour. I don't want to keep y'all that long because it is Friday. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm in Canada and they don't have a lot of clubs where I'm at. I'm actually going to tonight this disco club that it slaps. Like, they play music from 70s to 2000s. That's all they play. And today is ladies' night. So all the ladies for free all night. So that mug is finna be packed out. So that's where I'm going to be going, listening to 70s, 80s, 90s music, the 2000s music. So that's what I'm doing. So what are y'all doing while I wait to see if Javante get his stuff to the email before we hop off? Because I want to try to get it in before we end, because there were slots open, man. But I really appreciate all y'all coming. All you welcome, Track Shark, man. That's good. Keep up your grind. Keep working, man. Hope for all y'all beginners and the rookies and the veterans in the game that's here. I just want y'all to encourage everybody to keep going, keep pushing. Remember, feedback, don't take it personal from anybody, right? Well, I guess it depends. If someone's been doing it for a while and they understand what they're talking about, just take it as they're trying to help you, because I was blessed to be helped by someone who really coached me for a long time until my music was actually ready to be placed, right? That's one thing that I really appreciate that. So that's why I started the channel, because I want to give back some of my time, from my expertise, to help people and just build together, man. Like, the game is not saturated. There is stuff for everybody out here. Content is just being created like crazy, right? There's so many different things that we don't even know we don't know yet. So there's music, right? Everybody who submitted today had a different style of music, and that's what I really love. So we had 9 people play, and each one of us can get into 9 different libraries because our music is so different, right? It's not good or bad. And I want you to keep that in mind, especially if you're just beginning, because you might think, oh, my music don't sound as good as someone else's. Well, that's all relative. At the end of the day, the only people it need to sound good to is someone picking your music. Trust me, I've had a lot of tracks that I'm like, I don't know why that track got picked, because that was a terrible track when I made it, but it's making me passive income, so I can't beat it. Let's see. Kevin said, dad time, just about the little one down, gaming all night, man. What you gaming on? What you gaming on? Me, I personally, I play MCOC, Marvel Contest of Champions, on my iPad. I like that, pretty fun game. Let's see. Rad Be Red, I'm prepping my car for Sunday. A dry demolition? Damn. That's I don't know if I could do that, man. I don't like falling into like walls. So let me check. Okay, you just sent it over. Yep. I just got the track, man. There you go. So last review before we get out here. Let me play the track. Oh man. In a world. Okay. It's putting me in the scene. Okay. It's building. I like it. That's nice. See, look, all different styles today, man. Y'all just had the perfect mix of music. All different styles today. I love it. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. What was that? Woohoo! Yeah, this is war ready. This is a great end. This is a great end to the stream. This is hard. Okay, the track goes on longer, but I don't want to hold you. I wanted to keep it to an hour, so I want to give some stuff. That was a good track. Thank you for sending it over. I'm glad you were able to make it in. Hey, leave it. See, this is just a small example. 2 people didn't show up or send me their music, and 2 people that came in on the stream was able to get their music. So if I'm a music, say if I was an actual music supervisor, or I had my own music publishing company, and I'm like, I want to work with y'all because y'all follow instructions, right? The other people didn't. It's not a knock against them. It's just that's a reality of what can actually happen. So 2 extra people got an opportunity they wouldn't had because someone else didn't read. It's simple. Just read, right? So, but let's get on that track. That track was crazy. Like, I didn't even know it was going to take me there. I think, what's the name of the track? If I look at is it just called Cinematic or Remix 4321? I think is the name of the track. I would probably name it something else, because if I'm seeing that and I'm looking through a whole bunch of music, because I'm trying to pick something for a trailer, right? I see that. I can see that in a trailer, right? A documentary trailer for football, something like that. And I just see remix, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, if you were to put like, I don't know, like fourth quarter domination. Something, I'm just making up something, right? But something like that at least gives me some idea. The switch up was nice. It was really nice. I would just caution because I think, was that Method Man and Redman? I couldn't tell. I don't know who that was. It sounded like a real artist. Let me know who that was, Javante. But I would stay away from using stuff you need to license. Oh, okay. So you had clearance. Oh, okay. So that makes sense then. Okay. So that track, you heard it. He had clearance, y'all. So he was able to use that. Cause I was wondering, as soon as I heard that track, I was like, nope, nope. But now it makes sense. He said he had clearance to do it. So it makes sense. So whatever brief he was sent, they said, give me this. And he decided to do that. So you better to be mindful, a teaching lesson. If you're making music for sync, you want to usually stay away from stuff that you don't own, right? Unless you get permission to use it, you want to stay away, because these libraries, they just want to get music. They want to say yes. They want to be able to use it fast enough. But this person, Javante, has clearance, so he's able to remix it. And I really like the way it changed and flowed. Now, the song was longer, so it might do more ups and dips, but it definitely took me on a journey, which that's what I've been saying through everybody's reviews. You want to make sure your songs take you somewhere, because your music moves a scene. Have you ever watched a show without music? Not since Charlie Chaplin. And I know y'all ain't been born when Charlie Chaplin was around them silent movies. And even then, I think they did some piano when they were in the movie theater. It just wasn't, the movie was just silent, but they had music in the movie theater. But anyway, it took me on a journey. So that's things I would change. If he didn't have clearance, I would have took out the copyrighted material. That would have been the first thing to just knock out. Other than that, the track was good. I can't say much about that. I didn't listen to the end of it to see how the sting hit, but I assume it would have been good enough. But I hope you get placed with that, with the Def Jam stuff, man. I know it's probably a lot of people submitting for this thing, man. So I hope you get that, man. I'm always rooting for everybody to get something, man. I always say there's enough pie to go around for everybody. Just build a bigger pie. There's no reason to be mad or hating on somebody just because they may have an opportunity that you may not have. You can eventually get an opportunity then. So as we wrap this up, I really want to thank y'all. I hope this stream was okay. This is my first stream on this channel and in this place. I'm in like the sticks. The internet is just so slow. So, but it sounds like y'all had a good time and y'all understood everything. So I really, really appreciate y'all coming out. Thanks for watching the videos. If y'all got any follow-up questions, I'm allowing y'all to just email me what y'all want to do. Since y'all was here to review, I'm here to help y'all. If y'all got any other questions or something, I may do these maybe once a month, depending. I think it's been very helpful for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Take it easy. Peace.